Okay, guys, so you know I am a co-host for Swipe Your Sign podcast. It's on BBC Sounds on BBC One Extra. So we're having a live show in London and Manchester, and we're looking for contestants to date myself and Nathan.
Yep.
We have more star signs to date, so we're looking for 3 people each. I like women, so 3 women and 3 men for Nathan.
Yeah.
So click the link in the description down below and sign up, and hopefully we'll be dating. On Swipe Your Sign.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi guys, and welcome to episode 164 of the Two Teas podcast. I am Nana.
Bro.
And together we are Two Teas.
I'm so sorry. We just had a tequila shot, and
It's really disgusting.
yeah.
If you know me, you know I hate tequila.
I know that we said we're giving up, but please don't come for us.
And we're actually drinking on the actual episode.
By December.
I've said that I'm not going to be sober. Life's too hard to be sober.
Yeah, I'm still going to do it by December because I don't want the alcohol to dehydrate my gains. So that's why I'm doing it.
Dehydrate your gains, okay. Everybody, welcome Jeane, Jeane, to the show. Why are you doing that as if your name is why you sound as if you're
Jeane?
Jeane, innit?
Je suis Jeane. Jean. Je suis Jean.
What's Je suis Jean?
I'm Jeane.
I'm Jeane.
Yeah.
Je suis Jean.
Yeah.
You don't know so what Jean?
Yeah, but I said Je suis, innit?
Yeah, you don't say Jean. If you're
I'm
gonna
sorry,
say
Je suis Jean. Je suis Jean. To the
Make
show.
it
Welcome.
sexy.
Is it sexy?
Paris.
Welcome. Boobs or bum?
Oh, we have done this for a long time. Wait. Boobs or bum?
Why do you have to pit 2 beautiful black women against each other?
You said black one.
Oh shit. Oh well.
We do not discriminate.
No, we don't discriminate. Why do you have to pit 2 beautiful women?
Yeah,
against each other?
I understand, but if I'm gonna have to pick, I'm picking Yash. Always, every day.
Do you know what it is? I used to be a boobs person, and then I dated someone in 2016. Oh, her bum.
The nyash.
And
The nyash was nyashing.
I was converted.
Yeah.
And since then, oh my God.
Do you know what? I used to be a boobs person too. And then I dated somebody around that same time. And their boobs, it was a lot of boobs. It was and I feel like it just turned me the other way. I'm not boob shaming or please, I'm not boob shaming, but it was just, I've got small hands. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather hold from down there, something that is large, rather than grab from up there than something there's more efforts. You know? So I'm a nyash babe.
I'm definitely a Yash babe. I always have been. I've never changed. Every day, all day. But when there are, when you got a nice pair of boobs, I can really appreciate a nice pair of boobs.
I do, I'm not gonna lie. I do.
Yeah.
You can appreciate a good boob.
I can appreciate a good boob, like especially during sex. But like outside of sex, Yash, it's just
That's the only thing you can
you just slap and just like play with it and just rub it.
I do have a disclaimer. If your nyash is not as big as your boobs, it's okay. We don't mind.
Why did you have to say that?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm attracted to something.
I had to say that.
Fingers or strapping?
Fingers, man. There's an art to it. I love strapping, but fingers is just, it's so sensual. Do you know what
I agree.
mean? Like, you can't get it anywhere else.
I agree.
And not everyone can finger, so
No.
it's perfect when you can.
It's
do
an
you know
art
what I mean?
form. It's
Yeah.
definitely an art
It's an
form.
art form.
And I feel like with fingers, obviously you're controlling it. When you're in a strap, it's something that's attached to you. It's not yours. Do you know what I mean? You can't feel what it's doing. That's why sometimes it might slip out or whatever. Because you
slip out, you just continue.
You just continue. you don't know that it's out. But with your fingers, like you control it. You can feel everything. You can feel inside. You can, do you know what I mean? You're hitting the walls.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, some people are strap over fingers.
100%, yeah.
And I just
Because they
feel
can't
like
finger.
That means you can't finger.
Yeah.
Some people just enter in and exit in.
Yeah.
That's their
Fingering is
technique.
great, man.
It's-
Like,
yeah.
you can't, there's just things to touch, feel. It's so
Yeah.
great.
It's great.
Do you two mind, if somebody fingers you with acrylics on or nails?
Yes, so.
You mind, yeah?
Do you mind? Of
You'd
course.
mind?
I've obviously had been fingered with acrylics. I would say
It's
it's
not
better.
painful.
Do you know what? If you angle it in a certain way, it's okay, but it's definitely 100 times better without acrylics.
Yeah.
Like 100 times
Yeah,
better.
I
So I
Or
would
gel.
say-
That's why I said nails. Because
Oh right,
gel
yeah,
is a thing.
Yeah, yeah. Acrylics is the fake nail that they put on, isn't it?
Gel
yeah.
is
what's
fake too,
gel?
yeah.
Okay.
It's also
I
the
thought
same as
gel was
acrylic.
the one that you just put over the actual.
No,
nail.
gel is fake nails. Acrylic.
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't
Gel's
know.
more healthier than have acrylics.
Okay.
That's what Jamie does.
Oh.
Jamie doesn't do acrylics. She only does gel.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I definitely appreciate no nails, no gel, no acrylic. You know, it's great.
Yeah.
Or shorter nails. Do you know what I mean?
If it's short, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you've got fake nails on and they're short, why are you doing that?
Do you know what
It's been nice and long.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
When I see shorter nails, it makes me feel like you're a nurse and you work in a hospital.
They probably do.
Yeah, and you
I
can't
don't even
have long
understand
nails.
long
But
nails.
also, there's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
So many questions.
With long nails.
Like, yeah, how do you clean your bum? How do you pound it
But
down?
I like the way it looks. I love a nail.
I love nails too.
Yeah. And that's what I love.
Yeah.
When they do this. That's what I love. And then when it shouts at you and they point at you, like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And then when I have to say, don't put your finger in my face, and then it's sexy.
Yeah, put it small, put it small.
Then it's like, it's a little, you know, bus. I love that.
Focus.
Are we focusing?
Focus.
We're not focusing. So what's your excuse for your increase in libido? Because you haven't been going to the gym. So what's your excuse?
We just baited her out because she
haven't
didn't.
been going to the gym?
Yeah, we just baited her out. We just say that she had an increased libido.
Yeah, but we've been talking about. We said it on one of the last episodes that
we
we've
said,
all
but
been.
you didn't say.
No, but we've all been talking about sex in the group chat, which
we did
includes
say
Jeane.
true. We said
Yeah.
it's group chat. If you be listening carefully, you know.
I mean, I go gym, maybe not as much as you guys, but then I'm naturally a very sensual person. I enjoy sex. I like sex. I think that obviously for a long period of time, I've taken myself away from that just because I'm mad, women are mad. You know, it's easier to like...
Everybody's mad.
Exactly, everyone's mad, don't deal with it. But now that I'm in a space where like, I think I've been open for 2 months now?
It's been about 2 months, yep.
I enjoy sex. I like having sex. I like pleasing people. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I feel like ladies want to know some more about Jeane.
I know, of course they do, because obviously you're the girl, them sugar.
Yeah. That has been strategic here because we weren't supposed to talk about.
I mean, we'll get to some, but obviously you have to, because you're here and you're here alone. Like, you haven't been on our podcast by yourself. So
That's true. Actually, it's the first time by yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have to take the advantage, the opportunity.
It's never gonna happen
because it's probably not gonna happen again.
I'm sitting down. I'm surprised that Jeane said yes.
Yeah, and that's why obviously I was like, oh, you don't have to if you don't, because you know.
No.
But I'm glad
love
that
you
you're
guys,
here.
so of
But
course.
because you're here and the people want to know, obviously the people are always in your DMs, and when I do the anonymous thing, they're always asking about you, and you know, some of the others too. But they was asking about you. So yeah, like, let the people know. Like, are you single, ready to mingle? What's going on?
Not the spot. What is going on?
Put you on the spot, where?
I am single. Am I ready to mingle? I think it depends, really.
It
depends on who you're mingling with.
Yeah, it depends on them.
Yeah.
100%. I'm very, very specific about what I want and what I like. I can be strict and difficult, you know, and if a person manages to pass through that, then yeah. But if not, you know, 90% of them will not.
If you manage to pass through the brick wall, good on you, man.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's hard.
brick
as
wall.
hell.
For the people who have passed through recently, oof, child.
Stay strong. Stay strong, sisters. I'm so down. Stay strong. But I love that. People also want us to date. And they would want to see it as well. But you can only see it if you pay in. Do you know what I mean?
100%,
Like,
yeah.
you can't see
So you two date?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Or have sex.
That's my wife.
This is the Jeane we're talking about, guys.
Yes.
I've mentioned Jeane a few times.
Yeah,
This is Jeane.
yeah. We're gonna insert, the clip again.
Oh my god.
In this. But the people want us to date. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I love you. You know, I love you. I would date you. If you're a femme, I'll date you. But you know,
Do you know what? Realistically, you guys will not. If you let's say you guys dated for real, like you actually said, okay, we're dating.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how the group chat would take to that. Firstly, secondly, you guys wouldn't even suit anyway. I mean, physically you suit, but like, how are you guys? You guys have chemistry, but I feel like in terms of like relationship, you would kill each other.
But I think that's what's so sexy about it, because it'll be intense, it'll be passionate, borderline toxic.
Yeah. I mean,
but
you know,
it'll
like,
be
you guys
fun,
love
yeah.
toxic, don't you?
Wait, hold on a second. Why are you excluding yourself? Out
You
of
guys
that?
like toxic.
Sure.
What do you mean?
Sure.
I don't.
Sure.
I like peace.
Jeane likes toxicity.
No, I like peace.
Do you know? Okay, Jeane does like peace, yeah.
Do you
But
do
just
like
a
peace?
sprinkle a bit of toxic. I think we all like a sprinkle of
Just a
toxic.
Everybody
Sprinkle.
likes a sprinkle of it, and
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
care what anybody says. Like, people try and lie and be like, oh, you have to love healthy, and I agree. Like, strive for healthy relationships, absolutely 100%. But everybody likes a little bit
Just a
of
sprinkle.
just a little bit
Yeah,
of
of
rock the boat rocking a little bit. Like,
No, of
it's giving
course,
passion.
of
It's
course,
giving. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
This is why everybody's mad.
Yeah, I think it
taps.
takes emotional intelligence to be able to just give a sprinkle. Because there's too much, there's too little. You need to know what's enough. The balance is so important.
Yeah.
You know, I like a good
a little bit of but for you guys out there who want to stay, it's never gonna happen. We love each other.
This is the first time I'm hearing of this.
It's never gonna happen because we actually would kill each other. And I think sometimes it's just great to have that energy that's just like doesn't go over the line, but it's there, so it's always sexy and it's always great. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we'll still do the videos for you guys so you guys can enjoy it. But we brought Jeane on to talk about something serious because you know, life is serious. But Jeane, obviously we've known you for 3 years. 3 years?
Yeah.
It's been 3 years.
I mean,
2020 in it, right?
Yeah.
2020.
We've known you for 2020, and you've been like the newest addition to the group.
You're not new anymore. It's been 3 years.
Yeah, no, but I said the newest.
Yeah. Because somebody was saying, somebody the other day was asking me how we know everyone, how everyone knows everyone. And then I got to you and they were like, oh, so Jeane hasn't been there since the beginning. I was like, no, she's the newest. Yeah. And the person was, I said she's new. And the person told me that she's not new. I was like, you know, it's true.
No, you're not.
She's not.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, which is a long time. But we met at a barbecue. We met at a barbecue.
But we met online.
Yeah.
And I invited you to the barbecue.
I followed you guys for a while before that.
Then I said you should come to the barbecue.
Yeah.
And then we just liked your vibe, and that doesn't happen often. I'm
very likable.
Yeah, we never like people's vibes, so it doesn't happen often. I'm so shocked and surprised, even by Bianca, because Bianca's the one that is like
no new friends.
No new friends.
Bianca is
like close the
strict.
borders, like not having anyone. But yeah, so you were the newest addition to the group. Obviously, we love you, but we're here to talk about like the real shit,
Oh,
so. You know, recently in the news, Suella Braverman, who is a Tory politician, and one bastard like that, was talking about like immigration in this country, and she was saying that you know, people can't say that they're gay just to come into the country. They can't. She thinks that people pretend to be gay or to be queer to get into the country, and she said that that's just not good enough for refugees to seek, you know, asylum. And obviously with your history, we wanted to get you on and wanted to understand like what that is actually like, what was that actually like for you in Nigeria, like, and why you felt like you had to seek asylum and what is actually done for you in your life. So yeah, just start from the beginning. Start from the beginning. Like,
what's the beginning?
The beginning of what it was like for you living in Nigeria as a queer person. Was you even queer? Was you even out then? Like,
do you know what it is? Is that I will be dishonest to say that when I was in Nigeria, I wasn't as open in a sense. I wouldn't say that because the law came into practice in 2014, I believe, and I left in 2015. I think it was applied January 2014 and I left in 2015. And before then, I've always been a person who's very free, you know, and I think that my friends have always known that, you know, I liked women and all these things. I think that the hardest thing for me really in Nigeria at that time, it wasn't necessarily like the laws, it was more like my family as opposed to like the laws, because the law didn't take into effect or it wasn't as serious up until I left, right? But I think that's where the problem comes in terms of me knowing that I couldn't go back because the law had then taken effect by the time I was supposed to go back.
Right.
You know?
Do you know what's funny? Because it's interesting you say that, because I feel like whenever people talk about laws being taken place, I think that everyone holds a lot of emphasis there. But really it's not. It's about your family.
It's about your family, yeah.
It is the family because no matter what the law says, with anything outside of queerness as well, if you're still going to do what you're going to do, like people sell drugs, like people do certain things against the law, but it's because it's the family thing, it's the friends thing, it's more society, and those pressures on you that make you feel like, oh, actually, I'm scared to step out as me.
And it's even not even the law, because the amount of videos I've seen of like regular civilians, like, you know, cornering queer people, harassing queer people, abusing queer people. But sometimes it's not even the law, it's actually just society like that's doing that. Obviously your family as well. And I think that is that seems like much bigger because the law is there, but also it's not even really, and it's there, but it's illegal, but it doesn't really take effect. Like, people are not calling up the police. Well, they are, but they're more so going up to people and, you know, bashing them in the street and beating them up because they're queer. Do you know what I mean?
100%, yeah. I think that's what the law does, though. It
allows them to.
It allows them, it gives them the power to do that, knowing that they can get away with it, right? They've done absolutely nothing wrong, right?
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, the law is there in the sense that you could get raided, for example. Like, you could go to a club and the police just go to a club and then they raid people, and then so it's the law, it's the people, but then it's the law that takes effect, right? But then the thing with the family is that the thing that protects you from that is the family, right? That's supposed, when they say there's love at home, right? You feel that love when you feel safety and protection. And when you don't have that, then you're at the hands or at the mercy of the people and the law. And I think that's the fear. You know? That's
because even if you go out there and like the people out there persecute you, your family won't back you up because essentially they agree with
exactly. You're an
what they say.
abomination.
Yeah. And then that's where do you go?
Exactly that. That's why I'm here.
So do you feel like, so you not going back to Nigeria yet is, and also you feeling like you have to seek asylum, I think, is because your family wasn't accepting?
It was my family wasn't accepting, but it was more that because my family wasn't accepting, there was nowhere for me to be. So then the law is obviously then the be all. Do you know what I mean? Then the law has more power over me because if my family's not accepting, I'm not going to be home. I don't have that safety. So then I'm at the mercy of the law and the people, you know. And Nigeria is very fucked up in the sense that you could be literally driving down the road, right? And a policeman stops you and he's like, oh, are you gay? You look gay, or you have dreads, or you do this, you do that. And that's literally how that happens. So it's, if I'm not protected at home, then clearly there's nowhere for me to be. I'm an outsider in my own home country, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Do you know what I just realised? Yesterday was the anniversary of NSARS, wasn't it?
Yes,
the protest. I just realised it was yesterday.
Yes, it was.
So that's what they were fighting for too. Like, the police are just stopping them for anything because they can.
They can just stop you. And you're right. Like, even when we was in Ghana, we got stopped as well, but obviously, you know, it's a bit different when you're from the UK and stuff like that. But they will stop you and extort you, and they can say anything. Do you know what I mean? They can take you to the station. They can do anything they want to. Like, it's kind of like lawless. They can get away with anything. So yeah, I understand why it doesn't feel safe. Like, so what was the process of actually seeking asylum?
And what does it even mean? Some people don't know what that is.
It renders you stateless. It's essentially saying that, you know, my home country isn't home for me anymore because I'm fearful of my life, right? So I need safety in a different country that can give me that, essentially. My process was very, the joke is when I moved here, obviously I moved here to do my master's in international journalism in the University of Leeds, so on and so forth. My plan was never to seek asylum. It was always, you know, I've come here for my master's, get a work visa, and then, you know, stay. And then obviously I got disowned. And when I got disowned, it was okay. So if I don't get a job and I'm disowned, I can't go home because I have no home, right? What do I do? And I was battling with that for a long time. And obviously that was affecting my mental health at the same time. And I you know, I tried to say goodbye to the world. And when I was in the hospital, I was on, what's it called? The psych evaluation. And they don't let you go up until, like, obviously they've cleared you, so on and so forth. So when I was there, the doctor spoke to me and then she told me about asylum. So when I was in the hospital, my dad didn't check on me.
But he knew.
He knew I was in the hospital. He didn't check up on me. My aunt didn't check up on me. It was where I was visibly alone.
Right. And
then the therapist at the time told me, do you know what, there are things in the UK that can help you. You can seek asylum, you can do this, you can do that. And it was through the recommendation of the doctor that, I sought asylum. I sought asylum January 2017 and I got the refugee stay in July 2017.
Right.
It wasn't, I think for me, it wasn't easy, but it was easier because, and this is why I love to document, right? Because I think that the beauty about documentation is, even taken away from like the family shit, is that we're queer and, you know, we're a multitude of fullness, right? And it's so important for the people who come after us to see that, you know, we're here, you know? So for me, it's so important to document. I always document. And then during the process, I had to like give evidence as to, you know, me being disowned, so on and so forth. So I had all the documentation. Right. It was really easy for me.
So what did that look like to show? Was that like messages and stuff that wasn't safe for you?
Yeah, it was. So I lived in Leeds with my aunt because I couldn't get an apartment. Long story short, she beat me up. I had like scratches and stuff. So I had pictures of that. I had screenshots of like text messages with my dad. Right. I had like the disowning text messages. So I literally sent everything. Yeah. It was the pictures of like my injury when my aunt beat me. It was like me getting disowned, the pictures, everything else. It was, I had to provide evidence to say that, you know, I'm here, I can't go back. This is why I can't go back. Right. And I just sent all of that all at once. And it was easier just because I had
that evidence,
all the evidence. So it's harder for people who don't have that because it's a case of, okay, you see the country, and there's so many things I can't say because please, these people, they have red passports. I don't see it. You know? So Home Secretary, sorry. So there's things that it's harder for people who don't have the evidence because it's a case of you feel like you want to come into the country because the country has all these beautiful things and that's why you're running, which is obviously why the Home Secretary said that. But for me, it was easier because it was a case of this is where I'm at.
You were literally living that. You were living that.
And if you had seen me at that time, I was like, you would know that I was going through it. Do you know what I mean?
How did it feel for you to provide the evidence? Because you're not only providing evidence to save yourself, but you're also exposing your loved ones, your family members. So how was that for you?
It was debilitating because, you know, my family, the way that we grew up, it's very, very hush. You keep like your shit to yourself. You know what I mean? So for me, it was me battling those people seeing a different version of my family, you know, and me being willing to let them see that version. Right. It was also like me battling disappointing my family because obviously I'm also yourself, do you know what I mean? So it was hard, but I think that at that point I didn't have a choice. It was literally either that or I
You're saving your life and you were choosing yourself. And the thing is, I feel like when people do come out to their family, especially when they know they're going to be met with adverse feelings, you're just choosing yourself. Do you know what I mean? It's not really about their acceptance of you or their just any acts of your sexuality. It's not about them.
Exactly.
It's just you accepting yourself. So you had to do it.
No, 100%. And I'm glad I did. You know? My family has some reservations as to obviously the stay and everything else, but I think that I've never felt so free. You know, even in Nigeria, I wasn't as free as I feel now. I can say that, you know, in Nigeria, I wasn't necessarily in the closet except to my family, but in a way I was.
Yeah, you was.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here, I feel
completely
free, you know, and I can meet people like you and we have that thing where it's the sameness, but it's very different. And I never had that in Nigeria.
So you didn't have like queer friends or like a kind of community?
Not particularly, because by that time, if anything, it was just me and maybe like a handful of friends who were really out, right? So, and that's also why, obviously, by the time you knew me on social media, I had some sort of following on social media because it was interesting for people to see that I was as open as I could be given the situation that we were in. And there's not that many people who were willing to do that, you know? So it was this is like, I've never had this ever. This has given me a lot, to be really honest.
I think that a lot of people who are based in Nigeria and are open about their sexuality or their gender identity that is not cis, then I feel like they do end up having a platform a lot of the time because people are just like, wow, how can you, do you know what I mean? Like, how are you doing this? And also there's some of the Nigerian people that we've met through you even, and they've spoken about how they struggled back in Nigeria and how it's been there. Even when you see them in a club or
like there was one person who was in the club, we saw her in the club, and she was telling us about how rough it was for her
in a club.
Like but that's how you know, like there's a lot of trauma there, like do you know what I mean, like because they were explaining how bad it was, how rough it was for them, and people don't get to hear these stories.
100%. And it's for me again, like a person like that, they didn't have the same privilege that I had, you know. I think that I also have to recognize my privilege in instances like this because they didn't have that. I was still protected, you know, and they're not. Nigeria is so if you have power, if you have money, if you have privilege, you're fine. If you don't, you're thrown to the wall.
It's the same with Ghana though. Like if you, and it's like, it's especially if you've got like a British passport or if your family has money, if you're in the entertainment business, you're kind of safer than, you know, the rest of the
social status.
Yeah, it's a social status. I remember I was seeing, because there was protests in Ghana recently about like unemployment, the rate of unemployment, and there was a girl, she was femme though, and she's queer, and I think her name was Amma, but she was talking to like a reporter, and she was just like, they tried to like not let her sit the bar or something like that because she was queer. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
like did you see that?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, like yeah, and this woman, like she's so smart, she's so intelligent, like, and she's so brave, like to be standing there in front of where everyone is gonna see that. She's like, yeah, I'm a queer woman. Like, you know, that takes a lot because you're not protected.
100%.
You're not protected in these places. So what do you think about, because people often say that, like, obviously, you know, the Western world came and colonized, you know, Africa, and you know, told them this is the Bible and you got to go by this. And now, you know, the Western world is very accepting, very progressive, especially when it comes to, well, it's going back now, but especially when it comes to queerness. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's going back in a weird way, but yeah, they have been progressive until this point. Like, what do you think about that? Like, do you agree with the fact that they came and colonized Africa, and you know, our tribes were different? There was a lot of like gender neutral people. There was a lot of queerness in different certain tribes, and now everyone's like, you know, religious and a Christian, all these things.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think that if you go back to history, there's been trans women for time, even in the Nigerian culture, you know, in Igbo cultures, in Yoruba cultures. Like if you obviously do your research, you see that they've been there, whether it's through dance, whether it's through music, they've always had a presence.
I do feel like it is going backwards.
100%.
It's regressive, and I don't understand why that's happening. Like, I don't understand, like, you know, the West gone into a place and, you know, they changed it up, and then also saying that you can't come and seek asylum here when you've essentially done the rubbishing of these countries. And, you know, I think that's so harsh. And to say that people are pretending to get into the country, of course there might be a small percentage that are pretending, but what about, you know, the people that actually are queer?
You know, that's the case for every system though. There's always going to be people that take advantage of it. That's for every single system that stands. And I feel like it's very dangerous to put so much emphasis on that small percentage of people who are coming here because of their queer, and the even smaller percentage who are maybe kind of general the system. Do you know what I'm saying? But what does that mean for your relationship with Nigeria? So if you want to go back and things like that, what does it mean?
I can't go back up until I get my red passport. And I think that the beauty of, you know, being a refugee is that it gives me freedom, right? I'm able to be the best version of myself. I'm able to grow. I'm able to like live, you know. But then obviously the hard part is I can't go back. I haven't been to Nigeria since I left, which was in 2015. And when I speak to Nigerians, they mention places or things, and I don't know what that is.
Yeah, because it's changed so much.
It's changed so much since I've been there. And there's like nuances. There's things that I Nigeria as a whole, I wouldn't say that I miss because, you know, but there's things that I miss, right? It's the smell of fuel. You know, it's like corn on the road, you know, the roasted corn, the roasted, I miss certain things. But then I can't have that. So it's fucked up that, you know, my freedom comes at a cost. Because I think that what kills me is that, and I was saying this as to how, obviously, if you educate yourself, you know what racism is, you know what a black person is, you know what a white person is, so on and so forth, right? But in Nigeria, you're all black. Right? It's not a thing that's spoken or discussed. Like,
you're just Nigerian.
Do you know what I mean? You're Nigerian. You know, it's home, right? And then I come here, you know, and for the first time in my life, I'm black. You know, I'm a minority. It's I then become someone that the world hates, and I think that's the painful part of it for me, because I feel like I have no home, you know what I mean? Because Nigeria is not my home. It can't be my home anymore. I'm essentially stateless, as the refugee says, right? But this place is not my home because here I'm black, here I'm a minority, here I'm evil. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, so where do I stand? Do I go to the left? Do I go to the right? I can't. I'm in the middle. It's just there.
I think that some people feel like when you seek refuge or you seek asylum, then it means that all your everything's you're good.
Yeah.
It's like it just feels like you're good. Like, okay, I'm free from that. But actually, like, nobody wants to be ripped away from their home or forced to not go back home and things like that, because that's essentially a part of you and who you are.
That's all I knew.
Yeah.
That's all I knew.
You're Nigerian to the core, like, and I think that's something that is a nice thing about you as a person. Like, I think it's what, I don't know, there's just like, there's so much part of your identity, and it's something that I personally, as a friend, I enjoy. I enjoy your accent when it comes out. I enjoy your jokes. I think you're hilarious. And that is because you were born and bred in Nigeria. That's what makes you you. So I guess like to feel like displaced, it must be a lot. Like it must be a lot. And then obviously here, like, I mean, for me as well, yeah, and I'm born in this country, I also don't feel like 100% this is my own. But in Ghana, I also, because I haven't grown up there, I don't feel like that's, you know, my place either. But I cannot imagine what it must feel like for you because of the queerness that's not accepted there. And obviously, you know, like here is a bunch of bullshit.
It's like say you're standing on a mat, right, and it gives you balance, and then someone just drags that away from you, and then you're kind of like, that's how I feel.
So it's like you feel unbalanced, like,
exactly,
and that essentially you don't feel safe.
Exactly, which is weird because that's what you're running away from, and you're not safe anywhere else.
It's a weird limbo.
It's weird. That's it. I'm in limbo. I'm in limbo. It's not great. It's not great. You know?
What would you say to somebody who is maybe not going through the exact same situation as you, or haven't been through the same situation, but they can't go back home, and because that's affects your mental health a lot. So how would you, how would you advise someone how to deal with that mentally?
Talk to people. I think that the one thing that I regret not doing was talking, you know, learning about the opportunities that I have. I think that for the longest time, I felt alone, you know, like it was me who was going through that. But, you know, in reality, there's so many people who are going through that. There's so many measures, there's so many things to take, right? But then when you're in a situation like that, you know that it happens, you know that there's people who are going through that. But because your situation is always so unique to you, you always feel alone. It's not something that you can take out. You would always feel alone. That's the reality of it, right? But you need to speak to more people. You know, I didn't even know about being able to seek asylum or refugee.
So you spoke to someone,
you know, the doctor spoke to me, and it was you need to speak. It's hard because again, your situation is unique to you, right? So you always feel like you're alone, right? And I think that's the one thing that I wish I'd done more, just spoken to people at different like avenues, because for me, there's beauty in sharing, you know, because at the end of the day, it's rooted in something that's systemic, and it's important to know that, you know, and then converse.
The knowledge, I think obviously lack of knowledge is a huge thing, you know, people don't know where they can find help. And also, even before seeking help, is you're in that vulnerable state where it might even be hard for you to even attempt to have the conversation. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think, you know, a lot of things impact your identity and who you are. Maybe even growing up in a place where people didn't speak. Your because I grew up in a family where my family didn't speak to me. We didn't talk about feelings. We didn't speak about. Nobody asked me how I felt when I was younger. So you're not gonna go and tell someone how you feel. Like, you know, it's just it is a tough place to be. And I think being from our culture and stuff like that, like we're not given the space to really talk about our feelings and stuff. So I think that's even hard. But I think, you're right. You're gonna have to find people that you feel safe with, find people that you can actually speak to. Do you know what I mean? That's really, really important, and just share knowledge as well.
I feel like, just to share, I feel like Itty, I'm not really sure what her Instagram page is, but she creates like spaces for like, especially like Nigerians from Nigeria over here in London. What's her Instagram? That they did like the prom events.
Oh yeah.
They're having a screening. I don't know if she's even promoted it all, but she's having a screening for a trans film that was made in Nigeria.
Okay.
It's I think it's sometime during the week. On the 24th or 25th, so she must be promoted. 24th or 25th. Oh, this episode gonna be out by then. I don't know, but she's doing it. But Itty, I'm gonna put Itty's in there, so you can like contact Itty. Itty also did a beauty pageant, and she represented Nigeria. And the thing is, somebody went and said, that told them she was queer, but she did it as an openly queer person, and I think that was amazing for her to do.
So that was in Nigeria.
I think the pageant was here.
Oh, okay.
But even when you do things that are here and it's like run by people from back home, sometimes you still want to hide your queerness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I love that she just showed up as herself. Do you know what I mean? Openly queer, and she did well in that competition. But I'm gonna find her Instagram, put it in the bio, because she has that kind of space, and I feel like there's other people that they can all find their tribe there, like other people that can relate to them and things like that. Because even our friendship group as well, we've all made friends and everything. Like sometimes I do wonder if you feel like we can't relate to you with that and those struggles. But we all have different struggles and we all share different struggles. But with that one specifically, sometimes, because my brother had those struggles too, and I know that I couldn't always relate to that. And my other siblings who, you know, they come and go and blah blah, they always say things that I don't understand because I was born here and things like that. So sometimes I wonder if you feel like that with us as a group as well.
You know, in instances, but I don't think that's based off you're not knowing or your lack of knowledge. And again, I say that, you know, every person's story is unique, right?
them,
like you have your own issues, you have your own. It's impossible for me to understand your struggles and your struggles, right? And I think that's just what it is. I feel like that, but it's also like I'm supposed to feel like that. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what it is. It's not because you don't love me.
Yeah.
It's not because you don't care. It's not because you're not informed or educated. It's just my struggle. It's important.
Yeah,
You know, it's
I get it because I'm the only parent in the group, so I get it.
Do you know what I mean?
There's always one of us is going to be something in the group. Yeah,
exactly. It's just that's just what it is, really.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
even when we talk about wanting to travel, I want to travel
Right,
with you
yeah.
guys, you know, but I'm in a position where I have to get a visa. The
Yeah.
process is
It's
long.
long.
And it's kind of like I want to go Amsterdam, you know, but okay, I have to figure out Schengen visa. I have to figure out this.
and we
It's
have to figure out the group, child. Is even the group? Have we even decided?
No, we haven't decided.
decide.
Did we? So we decided yes.
We decided we're going.
Do you know what's crazy? Yeah. Supreme yesterday asked me, she was like, oh, have you guys booked Amsterdam? Because we might go to
crying.
Amsterdam. And I said, I don't even know if we're still going.
I don't even know what date it is.
I don't know.
Let's go.
But even the discussions as well, it's just like you and other people in the group chat as well need to get a visa and things like that. So I'm very much aware of that anyway when we're talking about holidays and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But it comes with a lot of things, and obviously I don't realize the stress of having to get a visa and all of that stuff.
The only time we go to Ghana that we have to get a visa.
Yeah. But if you want to go, like, you know, to another, you don't
Yeah.
have to,
Yeah,
you don't have
it's
to do that.
weird because even when I got my refugee stay initially, before Brexit, I could travel around Europe.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
visa.
yeah.
And obviously Brexit happened, and now I'm back to being Nigerian.
It's
you know,
honestly-
kinda like,
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
which is even worse. You know? It's kinda like, this is the refugee from Nigeria.
Yeah.
There's something wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I went to, where did I go? Where was the last place I traveled to?
Malta?
Is it Malta?
Was it Malta?
Yeah.
Have you travelled since Malta?
Yeah, Malta.
Yeah.
And I was coming back, and I was in front, Adobe was behind me. And so I went to the front and I gave them my passports. And I was standing there for such a long time. Adobe left me. I went to the other queue. Adobe went reversed
Yeah.
there. What
You're
are you
still
doing?
there, yeah.
And I'm standing there and it's so embarrassing
Yeah.
as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're literally just there, like, why? Because I'm from Nigeria.
Yeah.
And like,
They did
And
that
they're
to
not
someone else, didn't they, that we was travelling with? Was we travelling with someone and they did that?
Is it Honey?
Yeah. I think
Maybe it was
so.
Honey because she's got a Nigerian passport too. But I feel like even that, I feel like they do that on purpose because they can. Because the check that they're doing for our British passport and feels at that desk is the same check.
Yeah,
It's the same thing.
100%.
Like, what are you? What, you looked at the picture? Okay, it's me. It's expiry date. Blah 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 blah. I've got the documents. What else are you looking for? Do you know what I mean?
It's funny when you say Honey and her Nigerian passport. One thing to touch on when you get your refugee stay, they take your passport off you. Right? So I don't have a Nigerian passport anymore.
So you just don't have a...
I don't. So the only passport I have is the blue passport that they give you.
Also, it's
The
like you have a
travel
blue
document.
passport.
Oh,
Yeah,
travel
that's all I
document.
have,
Okay.
right? So I don't have my Nigerian passport anymore. Which then begs the question, okay, so when I want to go back to Nigeria, when I get my red passport, what does that mean? for me? Do I have to get a new passport again? Do I what's
you get
the
a
process?
visa?
Do I get- do you know what I mean?
Can you can get Nigerian passport after?
I would like to hope so.
Yeah, I think you can.
I think you can.
Yeah.
You just have to prove that you're from there.
Yeah.
And I have my birth certificate anyway, so hopefully it's just
would be the
weird.
proof.
Yeah, because they take that from you. Because
Yeah.
again, like in order for you to,
You're stateless.
yeah, you're basically saying you're stateless. You can't go back. So it's a case of why are you keeping your Nigerian passport if you're saying that you fear for your life? You don't need it for me, you know. And let me give you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colo-
But in the travel document, they still say that you're Nigerian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is kind of okay. So
Oh, you were Nigerian.
yeah,
Whatever.
yeah. They still say like like country of origin Nigeria. You know, I'm like, you get the refugee, you get this, you get that. So really, you're branded.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, so it's, you know what I mean?
Do you know what, if they're gonna give you a travel, if they're gonna seek asylum somewhere and they're gonna give you a travel document, they should just put nothing.
Right, exactly.
Really and truly.
What's the point?
What's the
if
point?
you're essentially, if you're taking my passport from me, essentially rendering me homeless,
Yeah.
right? What's the point of putting Nigeria on the passport?
Yeah.
Because then I'm still referred back to the same thing that
Right.
you've taken away from me.
Because you know what, when they put that country there, it still allows people to have their
stigma.
discriminancies and they have discriminate, whatever the word is, and all this stuff as well.
Yeah.
And it kind of becomes, it's just a law on a document.
Exactly.
There's just nothing actual personal to it.
Exactly.
But it still allows people to turn on and be like, oh, she's Nigerian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, there's no-
that's what annoyed me about the comment, because do you think I want to go through that process? I'd rather I had a Nigerian passport and you're giving me all that.
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
understand that. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, it's great that I'm a refugee. It's great that I have the
have safety.
freedom, I
Yeah.
have the safety, I have everything. I'm so thankful for that. Do you know what I mean? Because I truly, truly don't. I don't think that if I didn't have that, I would be here.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, I know that. I
Physically.
believe that physically I wouldn't be, you know? So I'm thankful that I have that. But it's like, at what cost?
Yeah.
Like, it's not... And that's why this is the first time in my life, like, I've spoken about me being a
Right.
refugee.
Yeah.
Completely
No,
honest.
do you know, we really appreciate it, because even when Nana came to us, Nana was like, we should do this because Suella, and I was like, okay, Jeane is a good guest to have because you've been through it and she's our friend. There's going to be comfortability there. But I was just like, Jeane has never spoken about this.
Yeah.
Never.
Even
In
like
public. Even
this
outside
depth,
of our group, I
in
don't
this
know.
depth, you haven't spoken to us about
I have
it.
never, I don't tell
Yeah.
anyone because
Yeah.
there's still like a certain level of shame.
Yeah,
in
'cause
my-
that's what I was gonna
you know,
ask, yeah.
I'm Nigerian, I'm proud also. It's kind of like, I have to beg you people to come and bring me.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like, so there's a shame that, because it's like, oh, so what's your state? I'm a refugee. I feel like I'm too proud. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't what my life was supposed to be like, you know? So it's kind of like, okay, I'm a refugee here, and then what? You know, it's not the best. It's not that it's not the best thing, but it's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the vision that I saw, right? And then it's also like when you get your asylum, because obviously you have to get the asylum first, and you get like certain things, like you have to go through job center. No, you can't work then, but you have to go through like job center when you're a refugee,
Right.
Or you get like what's it called? The thing where they give you like food and all this.
Oh,
What,
like,
food
food
stamps,
vouchers?
It's like
it's a bit.
It's your pride, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Bro, like in Nigeria, I was, I was
yeah.
somebody, you know what I mean? And then I've come here, and because my family hits me and all this, you know, I'm not coming to beg you for food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like,
It's just, it makes you feel a bit small.
yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
it
It
does,
does.
yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's why the comment annoyed me, because like, do you think that a lot of people want to have to navigate through that?
don't,
Because
no.
it's great to have the freedom, but it comes at a
Of course, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why would I then pretend and all these things for this? What are you giving me?
It's true. I even was watching a documentary once, and the guy was like, back home, I was a doctor.
Do you know what I mean?
Over here, I had to seek refuge to be here, and now I'm a cleaner.
Right.
He's like, do you know what that means? For like all the years I went to study for my pride and all this stuff, and then I have to deal with people like the government telling me like I'm taking the piss out of their system and blah blah blah. Like, people forget about internally what does to you internally.
Yeah.
They just feel, and the thing is, they want the system. They want the system to be above everybody. They think their system is the best.
They think no, but they think the Western world thinks they're better than everyone,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that is the problem. So that's why they would treat
You
like
should be grateful for the
right,
crumbs.
like little
For this
crumbs,
privilege, yeah.
Yeah.
little crumbs that they give you. Like, you should be grateful for it. Like, no.
And then they'll come and swat you on top.
No. But I think that you have to also recognize where you've come from and how far you've come, because
Yeah.
obviously, like, you're doing very well for yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, as somebody that came, you studied, and you had to seek asylum, you're doing very, very well for yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
you're completely independent, and I know that also comes at a cost, because that feels lonely too. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's why I said don't put your phone on do not disturb because you live alone. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? For safety reasons.
Do you know what's crazy? Do you know it really bothers Nana? We'll talk about that one day.
Yeah.
Then I was
I
like,
need to be-
Jeane, stop my phone and do
I
not
need to
disturb.
be able to get through to you. And this thing, I'm not trying to call you to be on a phone with you for 3 hours. I don't like to do that
just
anyway.
checking in,
I
yeah.
just want, if I'm like to call you for 1 minute, like, oh, and then I know, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're good.
Sorry, can I just give a disclaimer, guys? For every single person who says I ignore messages, you can see my friends say that my phone is always on.
It's always a do not disturb.
It's always on Do Not Disturb, which is not good. At least put me in your favorite. I might not your favorite. Why are you doing that to me?
You just said you wouldn't be in a relationship with me,
but I'm still
so, like, why are you my favorite?
We're still the love of each other's lives. You know that
on the podcast.
we're still the love of each other's lives. So I think you should put me in your favorites. When you're dating girls, do you reject their calls?
Oh, they don't come through. No,
they don't come through. So how did they even get to your house?
I text them.
I'm not involved in this part.
you text them. Oh, you text them. Okay.
Yeah.
So
no,
you don't call. So when they call you, be like, I'm outside.
Even yesterday when I went on the date and she tried to call me, went Do Not Disturb.
What is wrong with you?
But I told her where I was though. Like, you know where I am.
But sometimes it's quicker just to call than I do that with Ro all the time. If I just want to say something quickly, I'm just like, I just call her.
It's so long. I've never been a phone call person. I think that's the problem. Even texting. But with you guys, I'm very present. I don't think you guys understand. Like,
Yeah. I mean, we know you love us because the way you deal with other people is even worse. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Right. So do we have time for one dilemma before we go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the time is ticking, boy. So, I've got that. It's quite long though. We've got a little about me. I came out last year I was still in a relationship with my boyfriend at the time, but we broke up in January. Since then, sometimes you could be able to proofread. Since then, and only after that's not you, that's me. Since then, and only after our breakup, I felt more comfortable with my sexuality and have met more people in the queer community. Now, this is the dilemma. Now I've met queer friends either through dating apps or going to events. Let's just say I learned quickly the community is small for real. So much so that I've dated or hooked up with some people in my friend group, which is just people I've met on apps or mutuals I connected with this year. Maybe I'm a little naive, but before I came out, the thought of me being friends with an ex would scare me. The unimaginable has now happened, and I'm trying my best to stay cordial with this girl I dated. But recently, there's another mutual friend that has shown interest, and I kind of want to explore it.
Don't do it.
I can't help but feel as though this isn't normal in a cishet way, but from what I've heard and what I've seen it is in the queer community. I should probably practice some self-control, but she is so fine, so with capital S all, intelligent and caring. I really don't want to be that friend who dates everyone in the friendship group, but it just so happens that I romantically connect with people that my friends might introduce to the group. When I'm around my queer friends, I feel safe and seen. I can be myself. I can't imagine not having them in my life. It's terrifying I'll end up jeopardizing that, because although I do want to date people and have fun, I also don't want to mess up the friendship I have or complicate things in the group. Now, this is the question. My question for you two or us three, what do I do? What's your advice for this situation? How can I avoid dating mutuals? Where else do I go to meet people, and should I distance myself from the friendship group so they stop liking me? PS, keep shining, you two. I love your podcast, and seeing pop on my timeline makes my day sometimes. When are you doing another live? Because I would love to come and support. Thank you very much. Thank you. You should make a date every day, not all the time, not sometimes, all the time.
But I feel like straight people do this as well. They date the friendship groups. Everybody does.
Yeah, do you know what? I feel like straight people do it.
Yeah, straight people do it. But the problem with the queer community is that we're just a lot smaller, so it's a lot more visible. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like, me personally, I wouldn't date someone within my friendship group. I feel like it just breeds drama. I think it breeds drama. And if you want your life to be a drama-free zone, I would say avoid dating people within your friendship group.
Speaking from experience here, I'm gonna say don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's a lot of drama, and the thing is, it's some people become the agony aunts for you or the other person, and you put them in the middle, and they will be the bad person whoever they give the advice to. Number one. Number two, I would say, I'm gonna give you a little story time, a mini story time. There was somebody in my friendship circle that I was dealing with, and it had to be a secret. It wasn't something I could share with the rest of my friends, and it almost felt it felt like I was doing something wrong. And it just felt like I was doing something wrong. I felt like I was going behind everyone's backs, and it was because of how intertwined we are. And it got to the point where it was so bad, when some people did find out, they even emailed my ex-girlfriend's manager to say that me and this person were dealing with each other. And in the grand scheme of things, we were doing something wrong? No, but because you share intimate relationship, I feel like people don't understand that there's intimacy in friendships and friendship groups. Sometimes you're closer to others than you are in the group, but there's still a general shared intimacy that everyone has. So my ex was in that friendship group, so she felt betrayed because I was with this person. But were them two friends? No, they were not. They weren't. And so really truly, I wasn't doing anything wrong, but there is a shared intimacy there, and you kind of have to respect that. So just stay away. Don't do it. Don't do it, because you're gonna be the bad person. They're gonna be the bad person. Everyone's gonna be the bad person. And yeah.
Me, you know what I think? Listen, I'm a very principled babes. I don't fuck with that. I'm not going to mess around with my friendship groups. I'm not going to even entertain someone that my friends have been with. I'm very specific. That's too much mess for me. Don't do it. Have self-control. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Have self-control,
absolutely.
bro. There's so many other women in the world. Like, why do you have to? You don't eat where you shit. It's as simple as that.
You can even go to New York and date.
Do you know what I mean? Go to LA or something.
Also, there's dating apps, you know, like there's also so many people. There's events. Go outside. Like there's people everywhere. There's women everywhere. Please don't date
also
your
like
friends.
you don't have to like be with every single person you're attracted
Yeah, it's not
to.
everyday sexual escapades.
Do you know what I mean? Like you don't have to. You can be attracted to someone and acknowledge that's what it is and move on
and go about your business. And also, like, it's so important to have friendships. It's so important to have people that you feel safe with. If you date everyone that you're attracted to, that you get along with, when you need people, you might not have that. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes that friendship is so much more important than crossing that line.
Definitely.
Like, there's people that I've dated and we've actually been in full-blown relationships, and I'm just like, well, maybe we should have been friends because I actually loved this person. Do you know, I actually enjoy this person's company. Like, I enjoy this person's banter and, you know, just them being in my life. So I think, you just need to really think about like that. Like, do you want this person in your life forever? Because sometimes when shit hits the fan, there's no going back.
And once that line's crossed, I don't believe you can come back, because I feel like we manifest as different people. We are different versions regardless of where you're in. Right? The kind of person that I am with you is not the person I'll be with. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people. So that friend has seen that version of you, has seen this version of you. You can't come back from it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you say, what's important to me? Is it the friendship or is it me just getting a lick?
Yeah, it's true. And the friendship won't be the same. Talking from experience.
The friendship won't be. You won't be able to be close.
same.
Like it's just don't do it. Don't do it. I hope that answers your question, child.
Yeah.
I've got one. I like this girl, but I think she could be on the autistic spectrum. We have really cute dates, but our communication outside of us seeing each other is really lacking. She doesn't even holler me to arrange the next date. It's always me. I'm struggling to figure out how to build a deeper connection.
The fact that you're considering continuing means you like the person to some extent, that you want to see it through. And the thing is, people are neurodiverse. Ask them. Don't even ask them, but ask them, because you said you think that they're autistic.
Ask.
And just ask, communicate.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm a communication babe. I will ask you anything. It might be a bit too much, you know, but I will ask you. For me, clarity is so important. I can't navigate through anything without having clarity. So I will ask questions. I need to know for my own brain. So I would ask. Just ask.
Definitely, I would say ask. Like,
definitely communication, isn't
Definitely.
it?
And say why you're asking. Say because you feel like it's one-sided. So because if the person is neurodiverse, sometimes that does affect how they communicate. It affects like how forthcoming, and some people are better in person than they are over the phone.
True.
And text, especially text. So
there's a way to communicate, as long as you're not like judging them,
or
making
rude
them feel
about
out
it.
of turn. Do you know what I mean? You can communicate in a way that it's like I like you, I know that you like me, but you know, I feel so and so. It's as simple as that.
Communicate.
Another one.
Okay, what would you guys say are the most obvious signs of someone liking you? I've got a friend who be saying things sometimes, and I'm usually blissfully unaware when people like me, probably also because I don't actually like people like that either. People are cute and that, but then their minds are just not it. What are you actually asking?
I feel like
What's the most obvious sign?
You feel like you asked this question?
It feels like it came from you. I didn't, but it feels like
Why would you ask this question?
it feels like I don't be liking people like that. I mean, I like you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we know this, but what are the obvious signs of someone liking you?
The obvious-
Do you know
question.
what?
That's the question.
Do you know? I feel like these days everyone's oblivious to when people like them.
I am.
I feel like I was going to say Jeane would know, because Jeane's oblivious.
Always.
But you know what it is that yes, I'm very oblivious, but I also appreciate assertiveness. I appreciate, you being direct, confidence.
Be direct.
Be direct with me. Like, do you know, the most obvious way for me to know that you like me is to tell me you like me. I hated maths in school. I'm an English babe, literally English. Maths was never my thing. I'm not trying to do mathematics. Calculate. Do you like me? Do you not? Tell me. Anybody got time for that?
No, it's
true. It's long. It's long.
Yeah.
But this person's asking, how can they tell someone likes them?
If they
Listen, if someone's strategically positioning, ignore it. Unless you think they're a baddie, then ignore it.
Oh, who cares? Who cares, man?
I mean, for them,
baddies
never
everywhere.
know for them. They want to try it. And if somebody is being wishy-washy and giving you riddles, get that.
Yeah.
Let people come to you. Just come to you. Like if you have to try and guess, it's not worth it.
Exactly. You know that a person likes you if they tell you they like you.
Yeah,
simple.
That part.
Simple.
And it also feels more intentional. Just like, I like you. Okay, like, do you know what I mean? I like that shit.
Yeah.
Also, like, so direct, so assertive, just so sure of yourself, confident.
Yeah.
That's really attractive. If someone's just doing all of this to tell you that they like you.
Yeah, there's beauty in that as well. I feel like as a society, like people don't want to say when they like you. They don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be transparent.
That's London for you.
Like, ain't nobody got time for that. Just say what you want. Say how you feel and move on.
Yeah.
One.
I'm trying to.
One last one. I'm dating someone and I like their personality, but I hate what they wear. Is it okay to tell them their clothes look bad?
Yes.
That's the last one. You got anything to share?
I don't know, because I would not be attracted to you if you dress badly. I'm sorry. I'm a fashion girl, obviously. I enjoy, like, one of the things that attracts me to a person is the way that they dress. So I wouldn't be in that position. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. Kind of same, but yeah. I don't think I've ever had to tell anyone that I don't like the way they dress. Only like one item. One of my exes used to wear dolly shoes in the rain, and I definitely told her about that, and she's never worn a dolly shoe since. So but
yeah, I definitely have mentioned if the wig is not the style that I prefer. Or if the boots are above the knees in a place that I think is just unnecessary, or some people, I've mentioned if some certain specific things they wear are not nice, or I don't think it's nice, or something else would be nice, I would say. And then somebody once told me, no, buy me. So I bought them, which was nicer, and that was the best outfit they wore, but that's not their style.
But also, you can't really change people.
You can't change people, but you can suggest.
But do you think it's important?
Yeah.
But do you think that is important? Like, to have somebody that you
can have these conversations with?
No, like because on the grand scheme of things, when you're thinking about the way somebody dresses, as opposed to like their character and who they are, that seems less important.
I don't agree with that. See, I hate when people say, "Oh, you're focusing on beauty, you're focusing on like fashion, you're focusing on distance." Because see, me, I want it all. I want to have stimulating conversations. I want to have intellectual. I'm a very cerebral person, so I need that. But at the same time, I always want to rip your clothes off. Do you know what I mean? I want to see you dress and be like, "Oh wow!" Like I need clothes. That. I don't believe in having one or the other. I feel like you can have it all.
I hope so.
And yeah, you should have it all.
I agree. I think you should be able to have it all.
I think so as
definitely.
Well.
Yeah, but this for us span in the works. Yeah, what if you're with somebody, you love the way they dress, all of that, and then 2 years down the line, they decide to do 180 and they're dressing like something else?
No, see, again, unfortunately for me, I'm a words of affirmation babe. That's like my top love language, and for me, that intertwines so many things like communication. Right, I absolutely believe that you can communicate anything to anyone. It just depends on how you say it, right? If you say it with love, like you call me out of my shit all the time, but you say it with love, that I can listen to you. Do you know what I mean? And then I want to change something. I would say it like I would. It's just, how do I say it? Do I put their feelings into consideration? Do I take the effort and love? If you say things with love, I would say it, bro. Like, bro, like, why are you dressing like that? I wouldn't say it like that, but I would, you know what I mean? With love.
Yeah, you got to say it with love.
You have to say it with
tact
love.
as well.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just be like, oh, your outfit shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, you actually have to say, like, you have to do it in a way where it's just like, oh, like, I really like, this kind of outfit or this kind of style. Like, what do you think about that? And like, try and like, get them to maneuver that. Well, again, go shopping with them. Suggest things when you go shopping with them. Like, don't be a meanie about it. But, this person seems like they probably like the person. It's just the outfit, the style. Just say you just got.
I'm really curious to know if it was a mask or femme babe that can't dress.
Mask can't dress. A lot of masks can't dress.
Oh, femmes can't dress either. So.
Yeah, I would say the femmes can't dress as well.
Well, I don't know. Well,
No,
I haven't really dated people that can't dress.
Same.
Do you know what? It's
Or been in relationships
Same.
with.
in the same
No, I can't.
struggle to put outfits together.
It's okay. Well, I like clothes, so I can't say.
Yeah, you
simple.
do like
Yeah.
clothes, so it's not hard for you.
Yeah, but that's why I'm attracted to people that it's not hard for them. You know, so
Yeah, I bet over.
Flock together.
But that's our time. That is our time.
Yeah.
Jeane, thank you so much for coming and sharing. Really appreciate you.
Of course.
We're gonna go home and have another cheeky tequila just to celebrate your what's this? Sure, anyway, yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for listening. Make sure you use the hashtag #TwoTwos podcast conversation on Twitter. Make sure you rate and review us at Apple Podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. Until next week. Peace.